UFC 330 just took place, and I have a lot to say about this main event. The card itself was not the best. It felt like stuffing a low nutrient, high calorie slop average fight night under a great main event. Even though there was a lot of upsets and there were actually good fights, like Maitekbak Orobai, a minus 1000 favorite getting ninja choked out cold, and Mansour Abdul Malik, a minus 700 I believe favorite getting battered and choked out by Dustin Stosfus. But the main event ended up being not so great of a fight. Don't get me wrong, it was still a very high level chess match between a great challenger and the GOAT of the sport. But the fight itself was just not very entertaining. Across 5 rounds, there was only about 50 significant strikes combined. Yes, I said combined. Look at it right here. You can see here Islam Makhachev landed 22 significant strikes and Ian Garry landed 29. While in round 2, Islam Makhachev landed a crazy head kick that floored Ian Garry, which I'm sure it was a successful hate watch for many people, at least it was for me. But watching back the fight, besides that head kick and maybe some pitter-patter ground and pound after that, I literally don't think Islam landed any other strikes to the head. And most of his significant strikes came from knees in the clinch and just pitter-patter ground and pound if there was any. On Ian Garry's side, it also isn't much better. He landed a few jabs, some body kicks, and a head kick that was partially blocked by Islam throughout the entire fight. The total strike output in 5 rounds, 5 whole rounds, is less than a lot of single rounds in average events. I've included here the record for significant strikes landed in 1 round in the UFC just for a quick reference. I know this is the record, but still the difference here is immense. In round 1, there was 3 significant strikes in total. Ian Garry landed 0 significant strikes in round 1, while Islam Makhachev landed 0 significant strikes in round 5, where he still won the round. Also, the commentary for this fight was just absolutely fucking pissing me off. Daniel Cormier kept referring to getting a takedown as scoring. And other MMA YouTubers have addressed it in the past too, like MMA Shay for example mentioned it multiple times about the scoring criteria, which I will briefly go over later in the video as well. It seems like DC is legit sexually aroused by takedowns and controls. He's just so biased towards wrestlers and his friends when they're fighting, and I don't really understand how the UFC just allows him to do this. Also, him and Joe Rogan scored the fight 3-1 going into the 5th round, which was just fucking crazy in general, dude. I do think maybe I got to cut Islam some slack, and maybe we just all expect too much from him. Because going into the fight, I feel like most people is under the impression that Islam Makhachev is just going to dominate. I saw most predictions on YouTube leaning towards Islam, while there are some channels acknowledging how dangerous Ian Garry is. Obviously, the fight ended up being very close and very competitive, but Ian Garry legit looked like Patchy Mix out there, and Islam Makhachev looked like the Mario Bautista that fought against Jose Aldo. I'm including a clip from Islam's post-fight interview here.
This is the fight. This is not something we have to like hug each other every round, you know. We're going to war to broke the face, to broke the eye, you know.
Honestly, I find this to be quite ironic. I mean, Islam talking about Ian Garry hugging in between rounds while he himself was hugging Ian Garry during the actual fight. Maybe they both have too much respect for each other in the end of the day. It could just be social media trying to rage bait me, but I kept seeing on Instagram and YouTube comments with a number of fans saying that Islam dominated. And if you don't believe in the scorecard that was given by the judges, you should go watch basketball or something. I just don't really understand why people pick and choose what classifies as stalling and when it is acceptable depending on fighters, because it's just fucking weird. Like, why is there double standards, right? So Mario Bautista was getting an extreme amount of hate for the Jose Aldo fight, which I think it was justified. It was well deserved. And a lot of fans were also complaining about Merab's performances back then, where he would just keep his opponents on the fence and knee their thighs as well. However, from what I saw on social media since UFC 330, most people were defending this performance from Islam Makhachev, which I do find quite interesting. Just let me know in the comments what you guys think, why this is happening. Also, I do agree with Dana White over here in this clip.
If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that 5th round, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. You don't come out and hug and shake hands in the fight. That shit drives me fucking crazy.
Ian Garry should have came out of the 5th round looking for the kill, or at least just try to increase his output to give himself more of a chance to win the round, since he ended up getting his back taken in round 5 anyways. I think he was hesitant to throw. Maybe not hesitant. He was just looking, I think Ian Garry was very conservative because of the fear of the takedown. Obviously, if he overextends, it would be very easy for Islam to get to an advantageous position. But since he ended up getting his back taken anyways, I feel like in round 5, he should have taken more of a risk to at least secure the round. 2 of the judges scored this fight a 49-46, which meant Islam won these 4 rounds to 1. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that. It should have been 3-2 Islam according to the current UFC judging criteria, like I mentioned previously, and even that is quite arguable. You can see clearly here in the judging criteria where it says, effective grappling is assessed by the successful executions and impactful, effective results coming from takedowns, submission attempts, achieving an advantageous position, and reversals. Even though throughout the whole fight, Islam did not really land any ground and pound, he still won rounds 1, 2, and 5, where Islam got to the takedown immediately in the 1st round and controlled Garry against the fence, while Garry didn't land anything. We can look at the official stats. In the 2nd round, he dropped Ian Garry with a head kick. In the 5th round, he also just got to the back and held the body triangle for the rest of the fight, pretty much in the beginning of the round. With all this being said, there's no way you can argue that Islam Makhachev won rounds 3 and 4. Ian Garry outstruck Islam in round 3 and defended all the takedowns. In round 4, while Islam Makhachev was the one holding Garry towards the fence and quote-unquote controlling him, Ian Garry was the one landing clinch strikes, and they were very loud strikes and left visible damage on Islam's face as well. He definitely won rounds 3 and 4 against Islam. It's just crazy how biased Daniel Cormier is, and it sucks because a lot of the fans still treat him as a voice of reason and follows his commentary thinking that it is correct. While I don't think this fight was a robbery, it was definitely a very close fight, and it could have gone Ian Garry's way if he just landed a few more strikes in round 5. It is just disappointing that this is how Islam Makhachev became the GOAT of the sport. He's the most well-rounded fighter, probably ever, at least currently in the UFC. But I think he looks pretty beatable at welterweight, and the fight with Carlos Pratas or Michael Morales could be very, very dangerous for him. Another up-and-coming welterweight, Yaroslav Amosov, could be a great fight as well. And if Shavkat is able to come back healthy, and if Islam is still around, it will make for an interesting fight. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm trying my best to put out as much content for you guys as possible since I also work full-time, and it is hard to balance the schedule, but please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. It will help me more than you think, and peace.